American woman who served for 20 years in uniform and continue to serve in the United States Congress. At the age of 17, when I entered the United States Naval Academy, I first took the oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I subsequently repeated that oath 6 times at every promotion in rank, and most recently when I had the honor to become a member of Congress. Is that not enough to prove my loyalty to our nation?
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. What you just saw is the core of what we're talking about today. On one side, you have Representative Ayla Lura, a 20-year Navy veteran, a woman who commanded warships, and a patriot who took an oath to this country 7 times. On the other side, you have Ilhan Omar, whose loyalty seems to be a topic of constant and, frankly, necessary debate. This video takes a powerful look at a moment in Congress that arguably should never have been necessary. The fact that the House had to spend time condemning anti-Semitism because of repeated hateful rhetoric from a sitting member is truly mind-boggling. It highlights a stark contrast: a true public servant who dedicated decades to serving her country versus someone who, in my opinion, uses her platform to divide people and attack the very fabric of our nation and its allies. Today, we're going to watch the full video, and I've got a lot to say about it. So, stick around as we break it all down. And, hey, if you believe patriotism and service should be honored, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's watch.
For Israel. The latest, a series of tweets Sunday that were criticized as anti-Semitic. First, in response to this threat from House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy.
If they do not take action, I think you'll see action from myself on ways that this cannot sustain itself. It's unacceptable in this country.
I deployed 6 times, serving in 6 ships in the Middle East and Western Pacific, working under challenging conditions, while operating complex weapon systems, overseeing nuclear reactors, driving ships, and ultimately commanding a combat-ready unit of 400 sailors. Is that not enough to prove my loyalty to our nation? In the first 3 years my husband and I were married, we spent almost 2 years apart so that we could both serve at sea and deploy 3 times. Is that not enough to prove my loyalty to our nation? Am I to look back on my military career and the sacrifices it meant for my family and remain silent in the face of people questioning my loyalty to our country? I believe that I speak clearly for all fellow Jewish veterans that this echoes of language that has been used to marginalize and persecute the Jewish people for centuries. The recent accusations of dual loyalty call into question the equal footing of Jewish members in elected office and, by extension, all Jews living in America. I'm proud to vote on this resolution in condemnation of this rhetoric. I yield my time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's all be honest with each other. We are here today, right now, because of anti-Semitic rhetoric from one member of this chamber said again and again and again. I apparently am giving Rep. Omar more credit than the Speaker is, because I don't believe she is naive. I believe that she knows exactly what she's doing. It is an American value, by the way, to have reasonable, legitimate criticism of a government, whether it be the U.S. government, Israel, or any other government. It is not an American value, though, to be hurling anti-Semitic rhetoric. Anti-Semitism must be condemned unequivocally and emphatically. We have members of this chamber who associate with Louis Farrakhan, who says, quote, Hitler was a very great man. It's time to call out these statements for what they are. Pointed, bigoted, unreasonable, illegitimate, anti-Semitic.
From New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a Jewish member of Congress who lost family in the Holocaust and whose grandfather fought the Nazis, I need no reminder about our responsibility to confront bigotry, hatred, and intolerance wherever it is found. No matter how hard one tries, the allegation of dual loyalty simply does not constitute a legitimate opinion about foreign policy. It's a slur against Jews, it's indefensible, and it's deserving of the condemnation by everyone, every time. More than anything, it's offensive to question my loyalty or anyone's loyalty to the United States of America here, simply because I'm Jewish. The same way it was appalling to question President John Kennedy's loyalty to the United States because he was Catholic. I'm glad that Congress is voicing its opposition to anti-Semitism and made it clear that dual loyalty smear is unacceptable. Unfortunately, it was also clear from the discussions this week and the ultimate resolution that anti-Semitism is being treated differently than other forms of bigotry and hatred. There shouldn't be an asterisk next to anti-Semitism, and I'll continue to fight it.
Time has expired.
Thank you.
Remarkably, Mr. President, for the second time in just the last 3 weeks, Speaker Pelosi apparently feels compelled to have her members vote on a resolution that would reportedly condemn anti-Semitism. A resolution that will purportedly condemn anti-Semitism. Unfortunately, again, for the second time in just the last 3 weeks, this seems to be in response to the invocation of crude, hateful, and backward anti-Semitic stereotypes by one specific freshman member of the House Democratic majority. This Democratic Congresswoman already stoked controversy in mid-February, having publicly proclaimed that Israel supporters are only in it for the money. Apparently, she believes the only reason leaders would stand with the Jewish people and the state of Israel is Jewish money. Well, I think we've all heard that kind of talk before, and we must not tolerate it. During my time in the Senate, I've had the honor of traveling all over America. I know I speak for colleagues on both sides of the aisle when I say that support for the state of Israel and the U.S.-Israel relationship is deeply felt all across America. Our relationship is built on common values and democratic principles. Our shared interests, close partnerships, and deep friendships. The support for Israel that you see in this chapter, in this chamber, is not the work of some shadow conspiracy. The members of this body support Israel because so many Americans support Israel. I'd hoped this regrettable episode might have caused this lawmaker to be more careful with her language. But alas, just a few weeks later, here we are again. More anti-Semitic tropes. This time she claims that supporters of Israel have actually, quote, an allegiance to a foreign country. That's the old, ugly, dual loyalty smear, Mr. President, plain as day. We should also not overlook that in a few cases, these anti-Semitic statements have provoked offensive anti-Muslim comments and response.
Okay, now that you've seen the video, let's break it down because there is a lot to unpack here. First off, let's talk about Ella Lura. She really comes across as a powerhouse in this moment. She starts by laying out her background, not just as a politician, but as someone who served her country for decades. 20 years in the Navy, multiple deployments, and leadership of hundreds of sailors. She also speaks about the sacrifices that came with that service, including years spent apart from her husband while both were serving. After all of that, she finds herself standing on the floor of the United States Congress, asking a striking question. Is that not enough to prove my loyalty to our nation? The fact that she feels compelled to ask that question reflects the broader tensions that have been circulating in political discourse. Then the video shifts to the news montage. What it tries to show is that the controversy surrounding Ilhan Omar isn't just about a single comment or moment. It's presented as part of a larger pattern that has generated repeated backlash and accusations of anti-Semitic rhetoric. You also hear reactions from political leaders. Kevin McCarthy, for example, argues that comments like these shouldn't be tolerated and frames the issue as something more than a one-time mistake. Any critics say the remarks echo long-standing stereotypes about Jewish people and questions of dual loyalty, a phrase that has historically been used in anti-Semitic attacks. When Lura returns to speak, she connects those historical references directly. She argues that the dual loyalty accusation has been used for centuries against Jewish communities, and that invoking it in modern politics carries serious weight. Representative Lee Zeldin then adds another perspective. He focuses on what he sees as a political double standard, arguing that if similar remarks had come from a Republican lawmaker, the response might have been much harsher. He also questions whether Omar's apology addressed the concerns fully. Representative Josh Gottheimer brings a deeply personal element to the discussion. He speaks about members of his family who were lost during the Holocaust, explaining why rhetoric connected to anti-Semitism resonates so strongly for him and why he believes the issue should be taken extremely seriously. Finally, the clip shows Senate Leader Mitch McConnell addressing the topic from the Senate floor. He characterizes the controversy as an example of what he calls the dual loyalty smear, and stresses the need to call out anti-Semitism clearly and directly. More broadly, the video frames the debate as part of a larger ideological divide in American politics, particularly regarding views on U.S. foreign policy and the relationship with Israel. Supporters and critics of figures like Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Rashida Tlaib often interpret their statements very differently, some seeing them as legitimate policy criticism, others seeing them as crossing into harmful rhetoric. The contrast highlighted in the video between military service and political criticism becomes the central theme of the discussion. But that raises an important question for viewers. How should these debates be handled in a democratic society? And where is the line between political criticism and rhetoric that people view as discriminatory? What do you think? Do you see this as a pattern of behavior or as part of a broader political debate that gets amplified in moments like this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm genuinely interested to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching.